Welcome to this week's Global Energy of the Week. I'm sorry that I couldn't do this yesterday on my usual time, but there were some visitors in the house. However, I didn't want to let this week go past because I think it's very important for all of us to understand what's going on in the air. So this is week 35. The week goes from today, August 30th, to Sunday, September 5th of 2021. So the 35 is the inspiring guide. So if you look at the number 35, 3 and 5, the 5 is the mind of God, the mind of the source, inspiring us, bringing in some information so we can speak our truth and do make some decisions around what the new understandings we have. But because the year is a year 5, 2021 is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 is 5, 35 plus 5 is 40. So we're going to be experiencing the energy of number 40. And 40 has an interesting aspect that I'm going to speak about. So one of the names of the 40 is death and resurrection. That's one of the names, and I'm just going to expand on this a little bit so you understand whatever you're experiencing, what this entails, what this is about for you. Okay, so other names related to number 40 are bringing in the real into life. What does that mean? It means that things that are not real for us, that are not part of our essence, we might need to go from our lives. Okay, and so then that implies certain responsibility. That 4 talks about responsibility, so we need to really be have integrity and know and understand what's true for us, what is real for us. That's what we need to hold on to. Okay, so it comes from the energy of 40 comes from the 31, and that if you've heard me speaking before, 31 is the flag bearer, and the flag bearer has to have that courage to move forward and do the things that they believe in. They need to stand for their own truth and have the courage to keep going. So in the 40, we still have that energy, that need for walking our truth, walking our path, walking on the path that we believe is our truth. So that is an aspect of the 40. And so I'm going to go deeper into that by looking at the Hebrew letter Mem. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring the letter, but I'll post it, and I actually did a post about Mem. And Mem is the love of God flows like water. And water in here symbolizes consciousness. So what this means is that the more open we are, this week we would be able to receive the water of life. We would be able to open up to a new level of consciousness that will bring an understanding and will help us see what are the things that need to leave, what are the things that we need to leave behind. And so in that there is a death, and then from that death there is an awakening, there's that resurrection, but that resurrection is an upliftment. There is a new level of consciousness coming in to help us be closer and more aligned to our truth. So the soul is our fountain of wisdom if we are open to listen, right? So there are 2 aspects of Mem. There's the open Mem and the closed Mem. And I'm sorry because I don't have the letters here, but the Mem, letter Mem, can be represented with an open side, and it can also have a closed letter. When it's closed, it talks about the unconscious state of being. So it means that perhaps at that point in time that person is not so open to the light, but as it is closed, it represents our womb. And so in our womb, that's where we start gestating new life. So even though the womb, the person may have a state of consciousness that's still not so open to the light and to that water to flow, they are still gestating a new life, something new to come into the life. Now, what could happen is that we become attached to what we had in the past, because there's some level of fear of letting go of what is known. So in there is that difficulty of understanding there's something that has to die, but we perhaps are still attached to that, and we don't want to let it go. So it could be difficult because we want to attach to the old. And so if you think about it, and there are many places where the number 40 figure as a number that speaks of a period of initiation, let's say. So for example, if we talk about ourselves, we have 40 weeks of pregnancy. You know, our women have to have 40 weeks of pregnancy before giving birth to their babies. But if you think about the Bible, how many days did Jesus go into the desert? 40 days. And if we look at Noah's, the flood with the story of Noah's Ark, there was 40 days of floods. And if we look at Moses and how the people from Israel had to leave Egypt, with Moses is another 40 number in there. So it speaks of leaving something behind to really bring some upliftment to our beings. And so when the mem is open, it speaks of that soul, that flowing stream of water coming into our soul, so we can actually get and touch that wisdom. And so then there's that birth, that rebirth after that death. You know what I'm saying? That death needs to happen in order for us to uplift to a new level. So what could happen this week? You could experience this at a physical level. So perhaps you're starting to declutter. You're starting to think, oh no, there's too many things in my room. I need to get rid of this stuff. Oh no, but I'm not sure I really love this. But you know, it's time to let it go because it's no longer part of the energy of your room. Or it could be a little more profound, you know. There may be a job that you know is no longer suitable for you and that you need to let it go. Or even a person, or even a situation. There may be different things that you need to let go of in order for you to bring in the new to your life. Now, if we look at the year as a 23, because 20 plus 2 plus 1 is 23, then we have 35 plus 23, that's a 58, 13, 4. And 58 tells us to destroy the useless. So once again, it's a number, it's a week to really get rid of anything that is slowing us down, getting rid of the things that are not serving us anymore, and connect to our hearts and just stay with our essence. Be true to our heart, to our hearts, and have that responsibility to whatever we're building in our lives is in alignment to our souls. So then the week starts on the 30th, so today. 30 is a number that would like us to uplift, and so we on a 30 we want to make everyone feel better, including ourselves. So 30 and 8 is 38, and we spoke about 38 a couple of weeks ago. That is the light is my guide. So if you are feeling a bit destroyed today, for example, if you're feeling like I don't know what way to go, simply go within, connect with your soul, connect to your heart, and then allow for the light to be your guide so you know in what direction you need to move. 38 plus 5 of the year is 43. And 43 is a number that could be quite stable. It could feel that there's something that is about to happen, and it could feel a little nervous. So you could feel a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous about whatever is happening around you. And so just be compassionate with yourself. Remember to breathe. And so I was given a technique that I will share tomorrow. Perhaps I'm going to do a little live about a breathing technique with some statements to help us connect to that peace that is and lies within each of us. And so 43 also talks to us about the readiness for change. So again, this is, the beginning of the week, on a week that we perhaps need to let go of things. We have to detach from things, to let go of things that are no longer aligned. And we feel that perhaps that fear of, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Or the excitement of the new things coming into our lives. And so the week finishes on the 5th of September. And 5 is explorer. The 5 wants to understand everything. The 5 wants to really have a sense of what needs to be improved, what needs to be done, so things go to a higher state and be able to see things from a different perspective. And so we move from month 8 of a re-evaluation to a month 9 of connecting to our souls. And so 5 and 9 is a 14, and the 14 is related to Kundalini. I have mentioned that before. So again, is that number that helps us kind of bring an awakening to our lives. And so 14 is also the power of the word. So also be very mindful of what you are speaking of, the way you say things, the way you speak to others, the way you speak into yourself. And if we look at the 5 and the 9 as a 59, that is soul entering the mind of man. So again, a number that speaks to us about entering a new state of consciousness. So there might be things stirring within you, perhaps some fear, some situations that arise, so you can see what you need to let go of. So 14 plus 5 of the year is 19, 10, 1. And so 19 would like you to find your own authority. So speak your truth, stand onto your 2 feet, make sure that you move forward with what you stand for. Do not let others push you around. And so find your own authority. Speak your mind, say the things in a loving way, but that are aligned to your truth. And so if we look at the numbers that arise here, that 14 is a 5, and the 5 of the year, we can see a 55 happening in there. So 55 can talk of an event that comes out of the blue, something that may happen to you that will kind of cause for you to have a mind shift, something that will help you awaken, something that will tell you you can no longer live with this situation in your life, and help you make that leap of faith and start something new, bring something new to your life. So this week, remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Anytime you're feeling nervous, every time you're feeling afraid, anytime you're feeling confused, breathe deeply and reconnect with your own being so you can see and hear what is the way you need to move forward, and stand in your truth. Do not let others push you around. Stand for what you believe in. And so I hope this is helpful, and I see you next week.